folks who played by the rules, paid their fair share their whole lives, folks who've never asked for a single thing to be given to them, just a chance to earn it. Folks, there couldn't be a more stark difference from what I saw last night in that debate stage. Self-entitled, self-serving president who thinks everything is about him. He thinks that if he just yells louder and louder, throws out lie after lie after lie, he'll get his way. He thinks we'll forget. Well, he picked the wrong guy. I don't forget. I don't forget that in February, he's on tape as acknowledging he knew how serious this pandemic was. He knew how quickly it would spread, the thousands of people it could kill. But he forgot to say a single thing to us. He kept it secret because he's more worried about the stock market collapsing than about the over 205,000 people who have died. He didn't say a word. What did he tell us? He said it'll be gone by Easter. It will go away in the warm weather. He told us it would just go away like a miracle. And then maybe, if we injected bleach in our arm, we may be okay. He thinks we'll forget about how badly he mismanaged this pandemic and cost us more so far than 205,000 lives and counting. Almost 30 million people on unemployment insurance. He thinks we'll forget the reasons our businesses and our schools are closed is because he took no responsibility. He's a complete failure. He didn't get the people, the PPE, the resources they need to be able to reopen safely. He didn't speak to you or the American people about the concerns. Not even once last night did he say a word about anything. Seriously, think about it. Not once. It's not only the trail of broken promise and lies. He told communities like Johnstown and all across the industrial Midwest, it's more than that. As Jill said, as I said last night, when he learned that 1,000 people a day were dying, what was his comment? He said, "It is what it is." Well, that's because he is who he is. And then, when he ran, he told us how much he cared about people like my family and yours, the places we come from. You know what his staff reported him saying? This is about 3 weeks ago. The truth is, he said that he in fact thinks we're all losers. He doesn't respect, no. Behind closed doors, it's been reported that he called his own supporters, working class folks that the Democrats around the way began to forget about. What he called them, his supporters, quote, disgusting. He's the same guy who let you earn a couple bucks parking cars in his country club, but even if you had the money, he wouldn't allow you to join. They look down the nose at working families trying to do it right. And it's been confirmed by multiple sources. They think that those of us who sign up and put our country put our lives on the line, our veterans, as I mentioned earlier, are just suckers and losers. I really mean it, man. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's absolutely despicable. And I'll tell you, by the way, 6 of his generals who work for him all say he's not worthy of being President of the United States of America. His own generals. I'll tell you right now, it's not how I was raised, not how you were raised, not how the vast majority of Americans will break their neck every day just wanting to get a fair shake were raised. By the way, Donald Trump can only see the world from Park Avenue. He cares only what the super rich and connected think. He only sees value in stock portfolios. I don't own a single Sarah stock. I had the dubious distinction when I got elected, maybe that's why he doesn't like me very much, being listed as the poorest man in Congress for 36 years. You think I'm joking? I'm not proud of it, but it's true. Because I didn't think you're supposed to earn money while you're in politics. In addition to that, when I got elected to the vice presidency, there's a headline in the paper saying, it's probable no man has ever assumed the office of vice president with fewer assets than Joe Biden. I don't think he was speaking intellectual. Well, guess what? His only metric is how the economy is doing, is Dow Jones. It doesn't matter if communities like Johnstown are still hurting, and he doesn't have a plan to help you or get back on your feet or deliver relief to the people who most need help. He's too busy planning for his next big tax giveaway to the 100, this is a true story. Billionaires made $300 billion more in this pandemic. Fact. And now, you know what his new tax plan is? He's proposing another $30 billion tax cut for billionaires by reducing what they call capital gains to 15%. They'll be making billions and paying at a lower rate than a firefighter, a school teacher and a firefighter together. Lower rate. The 100 richest folks in this country, 100 richest folks in this country are, in fact, own more wealth than about half the population. You know, it's time when nearly 30 million people are on unemployment. 100 million people, he's trying to take away your health care. 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. He's going to court a week after the election to try to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. By the way, if I tried to, we made a movie about this, they think it's just all fake, it couldn't be possible. In the middle of this pandemic, when you have 7 million people infected, 40,000 a day becoming infected, 750 to 1,000 a day dying, and his one goal is take away health care. Not a joke. Not a joke. 10 million people have already lost the health care provided by the employers because the employers have gone out of business. 10 million. And 20 million people, if he gets his way, I think it's on November the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th when they go to the Supreme Court. 10th, they'll lose. 20 million people will lose their health insurance. More than 100 million people with pre-existing conditions will, in fact, be charged more for their coverage. You know, what's going to happen is, in addition to that, when they eliminate the Affordable Care Act, we're going to be able to charge women more money for the same procedures men get charged for. No, not a joke. That's what the law he wants to eliminate will do. Pregnancy will become, again, not a joke, a pre-existing condition, which you get charged a great deal more for. Folks, you know, we can't let that happen. He's too busy trying to salvage his foundering re-election campaign to understand that people don't want a superficial temporary tax cut on their withholding tax, because guess what? It gets taken out of Social Security. You know what the Social Security actuary said? If his plan goes through, Social Security will be totally bankrupt by 2023. I know this sounds ridiculous. Remember I told you, when Paul Ryan was there, they wanted to cut Medicaid and cut Social Security? That was in their budget. That's what they want to do. I don't know where these guys come from. Look, I've dealt with guys like Trump my whole life. Guys who look down on us because they've got a lot of money, inherited it. Guys who think they're better than you. Guys who, as I said, might let you park your car in a country club they own, but never let you join or come in. Guys who inherited everything they've ever gotten and then squandered it. I see the world from where I grew up in Scranton. Not a joke. You see it from a different perspective, but Johnstown, or any town we stopped in today, it's filled with people who are busting their necks to do right by their families every day. They aren't worried about the stock market. They're worried about putting food on the table every night. They're worried about making the rent. They're worried about being 20 million people are worried they won't be able to pay their mortgage payment this month. 20 million. My mom used to always say, Jean Finnegan Biden from Scranton, she said, Joey, remember, look at me, Joey. Nobody is better than you, but everyone is your equal. He doesn't get that. When my dad had to leave Scranton when there were no jobs and moved to Wilmington, he didn't have to commute like the woman I met today, her husband, 8 hours each way, but he had to commute back and forth from Wilmington every weekend, and that was only a 3.5-hour drive each way. But when we got to Delaware and finally were able to buy a house 3 years later, my dad used to say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. That's what was missing today. Providing dignity to the work we do. Those are the values that shape my life. And when it gets down to it, I think this whole campaign gets down to Park Avenue versus Scranton, Park Avenue versus Johnstown. Trump may think there ought to be a different set of rules for him and his rich buddies. Rules that get them out of taxes, get them out of responsibilities, get them out of consequences for every one of the mistakes they make. But I don't think so. I think it's about time we start rewarding work and not wealth. I think it's about time families get a break and the super wealthy and corporate America start paying their fair share. You know, they're still going to do well even if they pay their fair share. But here's what I know. Donald Trump will never understand. Wall Street didn't build this country. CEOs didn't. The middle class built America, and unions built the middle class. That's why my plans are about helping communities like Johnstown and Scranton and Claymont and places I grew up to build back better. I'm here today to say to you that I'll do as president what Donald Trump hasn't. I'll fight for you, not for the corporations, you, your jobs, your families. Not only going to build back, we'll build back better. It's all about injecting life and capital back into places like Johnstown. And it starts with a simple proposition: buy American. The federal government spends $600 billion of your taxpayers' money every single year on everything from military equipment to steel railings to buildings to highways, cars and trucks and federal fleets. When I'm president, we're going to make sure that every one of those products, every single piece that goes into any of those contracts is made and built in America. I'm serious. We can do this. I'm going to end Trump's incentive to send jobs overseas. Any company in my administration that offshores jobs will pay a 10% penalty. And any company that brings jobs back or reopens a closed factory like those around Johnstown will get a 10% credit and an incentive to build back. You know, look, we're going to direct billions of dollars in revitalization funds and competitive grants to help places like Johnstown compete for new businesses and startups. We're going to make 4 years of public education, 2 years of community college free for families making less than $125,000. We're going to lower health care costs by increasing subsidies for your premiums so they're lower, slashing the cost of prescription drugs by literally as much as 60%. And you say, how you do that, Joe? Well, we're going to do a system that sets up an expert panel of 25 people for every new drug that comes on the market. They have to go before that group of experts. They'll set the price based on your investment, just like you do for utility. And you cannot raise that price ever again beyond the cost of medical inflation. We're going to take on the opioid crisis, real effective treatment for substance use disorders. We're going to do it all without raising a penny in taxes for anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year. If you make more than $400,000, I'm going to raise your taxes. So raise your hand. You know, maybe you didn't believe me that I could do that without raising taxes on the middle class. But I'll bet that's before you found out that the billionaire Donald Trump only paid $750 in income tax. If Trump and his Park Avenue pals start paying their fair share, we'll have more than enough money to finally build an economy that works for everybody. So I promise you this. I see you. I hear you. I respect you. I grew up with you. And the families of those more than 200,000 Americans that have died in this pandemic will be heard and respected by me. I'll work like crazy to get this pandemic under control so we can get our economy working again for everyone and get back our lives. We're a nation in incredible pain right now. So many empty chairs around the dining table tonight because somebody's been lost in the family. So many businesses closed, the doors closed forever because the money that the Congress voted to get the small businesses went to his friends, his rich friends on Wall Street. So many proud people on unemployment for the first time in their lives, not able to get the kind of health and unemployment insurance that we initially passed in the Congress. You know, as my wife said, this is not a partisan moment. This is an American moment. No, I really mean it. We can't afford to go on being divided. We can't afford to have a leader who does nothing but throw gasoline on the anger and hatred that's burning this country. We have to come together. Look, I promise you all this. I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I will be an American president. I'll fight as hard for those who support me as those who did not. I promise you this. I'll fight for you. That's what we need right now. The president will try to bring us together. He'll speak to what is best in all of us rather than try to divide us. Put that dog whistle out of racism. Did you hear what he said last night? When he was asked by the Fox commentator, would he condemn white supremacy, which the FBI says is a serious threat to terrorism in America today. He said, well, of course, I'm against all bad things. I said, how about the Proud Boys? He said, the Proud Boys. He said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll just tell them to stand down, but stand by. Go online. The Proud Boys now have a logo saying, stand down, but stand by. As they said in the newspaper today, that rivals Vladimir Putin. Not a joke. To, in fact, threaten that if he doesn't win, there'll be violence. Look, we got to stop pitting ourselves against one another. We're one people. We're one nation, one America. We need to remember who in God's name we are. This is the United States of America. In our long history, there's been nothing ever. Think about this. In every crisis we've ever had, there's not been a single thing we've been unable to overcome. Nothing. When we act together, when we've done it together. Folks, I am so optimistic about what the country is ready to do. No, I really am. I think we're ready to stand up. I think the blinders have been taken off the American people. They understand what's at stake. We can own the 21st century. We are, as Madeleine Albright said, the essential country. We can and must lead the world again. We've not only led the world by the example of our power, but the power of our example. Why does the rest of the world follow us? Because of who we are, what we stand for, our example. And it's being trashed all over the world. There's a recent Pew poll done by the major nations major nations of the world. Donald Trump, as president, this is not a joke, check it online, Donald Trump is less respected than President Xi and Putin. Can you imagine that? So, folks, look, as I said, this is the United States of America. We can do anything, and we're about to do it. With your help, the grace of God, and goodwill of our neighbors, as my grandpa would say, we're coming back. So God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. We are coming back this year, 30-some days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Go back. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. Sean Hannity, right now.
Can I give you a quick, no private health insurance, executive order to eliminate guns. Oh, and she sponsored in the Senate Medicare for all and the new Green Deal.
We're booking you for tomorrow.
No, but I'm going to be watching your investigation tomorrow. Look forward to it. All right, good show as always. Tucker, thank you. Welcome to Hannity. We begin. We have a busy news night tonight. A Fox News alert. The president set to speak any moment at another massive rally tonight in Minnesota. We will dip in throughout the hour. We must get a lot of other news in as well. When the president talks about last night, you will hear it. But first, debate one is now officially in the history books. We're going to unpack this, but in a way that the mob and the media never will. Last night, we witnessed a real contest, real debate break out. Now, it was raw, it was contentious, it was combative. It also does reflect the very moment that we are all living in as a country. America is extremely divided, and as we speak, there is a fight for the soul of this great country. Now, this fight is very real, and that real fight bubbled over onto the debate stage last night. In a moment, as promised, we're going to fact-check Biden's numerous lies, something the corrupt media mob will never do. He lied a lot last night. Before we do that, let me address the media mob, Democrats, Hollywood elites that are just so upset, so bothered by the contentious nature of the debate. Excuse me. I know you have the vapors. Excuse me. please spare us. Spare us your phony indignation. Spare us the selective, feigned, phony outrage. Because ever since Donald Trump descended that escalator at Trump Tower with his wife Melania, all of you holier-than-thou idiots have been waging nonstop the most disgusting, deceitful, dishonest smear campaign we've ever seen in American history. And on a daily basis, you have all been unloading all of your vile, and bile for that matter, repulsive, unprecedented
I guess Sean Hannity has never heard about the Yellow Menace scare, how we locked up all the Japanese in World War II. This is definitely more vile because the president rode the escalator and people are sometimes, they ask him hard questions. That's much more vile than the whole Yellow Menace thing that we did. We locked up all the Japanese people.
Attacks on this president, his family, his supporters, and the people that voted for him. You have lied to us for years. You have dragged this country through hell with your Russia conspiracy theory lies and a hoax, and it's all been a lie the whole time. Innocent people's lives have been ruined, and as a result, all of this is now disproven. None of you have apologized. I see no corrections from the media mob because they don't care. Because they're not honest people. They repeatedly compare Trump to Hitler. They say he's clinically insane.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you guys, okay? Maybe I have the mic off on purpose. Maybe there's a person right there that I'm talking to. Yeah, if you could get me like a large pepperoni and mushroom, extra anchovies. Thank you. Anyway, guys, maybe I've got something else to do.
Accuse him of plotting a second civil war. Every lie, all the smears, besmirchment, character assassination, libel, conspiracy theories, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Take a look.
What's libel conspiracy theories?
He said today, America first. It was not just the racial, I should say racial, the Hitlerian background to it.
Is this president trying to impersonate Hugo Chavez?
He is clearly trying to ignite a civil war in this country.
Trump needs to be medicated and hospitalized at this point, or he is going to just kill all of us.
We have a treasonous president.
She was wrong. It's only 200,000 so far.
What do you call someone who says clearly racist
Whoa,
things?
whoa, 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 whoa. What is with the Roscoes? And there is no Roscoes in front of me, producer Joanna. What the hell do you think a producer does?
This morning, the answer is...
How is Roscoe's, by the way? I had it years ago, and it was like, it's all right, but it was too hard and greasy. Some people love that in their fried chicken. Some people love... Oprah's favorite chicken is Lazelle's. I took her to Lazelle's in Seattle one day, and I can't stand this stuff. It's hard, and then you peel back the hard layer, and there's just this thick layer of grease inside. That was not when she was on one of her diets.
Mr. President.
As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, you know, Fidel Castro, Julius Caesar, Mobutu Sese Seko. That was not an American president giving an acceptance speech.
Now, that's just the media mob, and honestly, we could play that all show long. Now, their colleagues in the Democratic Socialist Extreme Party, they've been even worse. Take a look.
Sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in the Congress of the United States.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd.
And you say, hey, go home. COVID is happening.
When they go low, we kick.
I'll put Mr. Burgess up against Sean Hannity.
Oh crap.
He'll tear him up.
I'm getting a feed from somewhere. I gotta shut it off. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I had to shut it off before we get a copyright strike. Because of that stupid... And I'm proud to be an American, where I ignore the truth. And if I ran into Trump today, I'd punch him in the truth, because I'd gladly stand up.
And don't forget, every 2 years, every 4 years, Republicans are racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic.
No, they're that all the time.
They want dirty air and water, grandma and grandpa to eat dog food and cat food before Donald Trump or a Paul Ryan lookalike take your grandma in a wheelchair and throw her over a cliff. And let's not forget our moral superior, well, folks out in Hollywood, those hypocrites.
Yeah!
And
what
here's
about
how
it?
they have exemplified their civility over the past 4 years. They're the ones so outraged. So,
Yeah.
the vapors, we can't take the...
Wait, so he's been sitting on the tarmac for the last 45 minutes, and they're just gonna drive the plane over? How much more energy does it take to drive the plane from... He's moving Air Force One instead of just getting into the Beast. Or a golf cart. Or, for the love of God, walking. That's your taxpayer dollar at work there, kids.
Contentious debate that took place last night. They're all full of it. Take a look.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president? I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living.
It's true.
Just like Donald.
However, it's been a while. And maybe it's time.
How dare he say the things he does? Of course I want to punch him in the face.
Right. Yes.
It's been over...
I'm just saying that I would punch him in the teeth. In the tooth. Specifically just one tooth.
4 years. You know what? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. By the way, viewer warning, about to show you an extremely disturbing... Remember the picture, Kathy Griffin? She's holding a bloody, real...
Yeah, that was Madonna. She said that. She's been thinking a lot about blowing up the White House. She meant to say blowing the White House, just everybody in it. That was during the Obama administration. And it worked out.
Looking severed head depicting President Trump. And by the way, there are people who now want us to believe that they are very upset. And they're worried about the tone of and the tenor of last night's debate. And this can't happen in America, they're telling us. They're going to lecture us about the debate. They're asking and demanding for you to be civil and polite to them. They would be Class A liars and hypocrites. This is not real outrage. None of it is real. And for the record, you know, to one extent or another, this is how they treated Mitt Romney and John McCain and George W.
That's kind of out of left field there, Joanna, but okay. I'm assuming it's Hillary? Good for you.
Bush. This is who they are. This defines them. They do this every 2 and 4 years. The millions of Americans who voted for Donald Trump, guess what? They're kind of done with the niceties, the decorum that never existed anyway, and they're done playing the game because they see through this game now. They know the swamp for who they are. And for the left, civility, well, they define it as you surrendering to their ambition for power. For them, civility is...
Or just letting other people talk for 2 minutes like you agreed to before the debate. That also could be defined as civility.
All about electing that guy. Weak, frail, a cognitively compromised candidate who will rubber stamp.
Sure looked good last night.
Court stacking and packing and ending the legislative filibuster and ripping apart our great Constitution. To them, civility is about surrendering your rights to a 50-year swamp creature whose only accomplishment is using his power in the swamp to enrich his family members to the tune of millions of dollars with Russian oligarchs and Ukrainian oligarchs and Kazakh oligarchs and, Chinese-sponsored shopping sprees and China nationals and Russian nationals and Ukraine nationals. Yeah, that's what he's done for 50 years for his family. To them,
Wait, didn't they play like the Mountains of Minnesota song like Oh, we went back. The rally's already on, kids. Hold on. We're not live. Let's jump ahead so we don't have to listen to Hannity. There he is.
20 Director of Press Communications.
Oh, he's throwing hats. He's throwing hats. Let's go find the real feed. Live. Yeah. So we missed it. Oh, well. I'm going to bed. Yep. Wait. Wait, why is this not, this should be coming in already. This is too soft, too. We should go back to Hannity. Yeah, he's live. Okay. Everything's screwed up. Give me a second. I'll go back. We'll go back to the mic adjustment. Oh, he's got a big mic this time. Here he is. Throws some hats. Comes up. He's got hats. Maybe they're signed. Maybe they're not. Nobody cares. Here we go. And how about that debate? They're chanting.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Duluth.
There he goes. Adjust the mic needlessly. Producer Rich, if you're out there, it's exciting.
34 days from now, we're going to win Minnesota. We're going to go and win 4 more beautiful years in the White House and do more than anybody's ever done before from the White House. We're looking to set records. I really enjoyed last night's debate with Sleepy Joe. I brought those hats out here because Minnesota's a little on the windy side. And like a genius, I sent them all out, and I'm getting blown to pieces, and that's fine. That's okay. I love it. I love you to have whatever we have. We have it together, that I can tell you.
Chuck, I don't really need to sign up for health care. I already have Obamacare.
Won big last night.
Thank you, though.
And I don't know, did you hear about this? In the history of cable television, had the highest ratings of any show in the history of cable television.
Cable television, because it was across every single channel. But, yeah, not network television. 84 million people watched the Carter-Reagan debate. There was only one, if you remember. You don't. And 84 million people tuned in. Not as many this time around. And 2016 against Hillary. Pick any of the debates, and more people tuned in than this one.
And it had the second highest ratings of overall television in the history of television. Does anybody know why?
That is nowhere near being true. That is not even, if he's talking only about debates, still not true. Not anywhere close to being true.
What was first, like MASH or something, I guess? MASH? No, they
MASH,
had the
yeah.
final episode of MASH.
And all the Super Bowls.
I don't know what was first. Does anybody know? But we were second in the history of all.
What did he ask about MASH?
But the biggest. Does anybody know? They had the final episode of MASH. And I don't know what was first. Does anybody know?
What?
But we were second in the history of all of television, but the biggest ratings in the history of cable television. It's an honor. Last night I did what the corrupt media has refused to do. I held Joe Biden accountable for his 47 years of lies, 47 years of betrayal, and 47 years of failure. I held Joe accountable for shipping your jobs and dreams abroad and for bowing to the violent mob at home. Can you imagine these people, the way they take over these Democrat cities? I don't even believe it. The whole nation saw the truth. Did you see last night? Name one. I said, Sleepy Joe, name one law enforcement group that supports you. And then Chris Wallace says, don't do that. That's not. Can you believe this guy? I was debating two people last night. I was debating two people last night. Joe Biden is too weak to lead this country. You know, Biden lost badly when his supporters are saying he should cancel the rest of the debates. Now I understand he's canceling the debates. Let's see what happens. I think that's not going to be a good move for him. I don't think that's going to be a good move. I don't think television with those ratings, they're never going to let him cancel. You don't know television like that. What are they going to do? You know, someday we're not going to be doing this anymore. What are they
never going to let him cancel? Like, if Joe just decides not to show up, Trump's just going to debate himself.
What are they going to do without Trump?
Maybe he'll just get a bunch of people that are his fans and they'll just have a mass debate.
What are they going to do? Those poor people. Look at all of them. Whoa. That's a lot of people. What are they going to do? What are they going to do when in 8, 12, maybe 16 years I said, let's hang it up. Let's hang it up. 16 more years. But what he's doing is what you do when you lose. So let's see what he does. I don't think he's going to get out. And I've got news for Joe. If you ever became president, you have to deal with some of the toughest people in the world. And Chris Wallace is very, very easy by comparison, I will tell you. I know them all. I know them all. Liberal media is upset that I took the fight to Biden and exposed his very dangerous agenda. Oh, there's a beauty. Here we go. Here we go.
Some kind of protester.
There's another beauty out there. Go home to Mom. Go home.
Mom? He uses that line every time there's a protester.
Go home to Mom. These are the same media outlets cheering violent demonstrations in the street.
Meat outlets? Is he talking about the Packers again? What?
Go home to Mom. These are the same media outlets cheering violent demonstrations in the street. CNN, the New York Times. They think rioting is just okay, just do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to wear.
And the town hall is going to be somebody asking a question of one person or the other, and it's going to be, and they're not going to answer the question. They never do. And when Biden starts to talk, Trump is just going to interrupt him. Like that's how this is going to be, unless we have one microphone, and we can't because of COVID. And even if we cut Trump's mic, if they're in the same space, which you have to be for a town hall, they should be set up remotely. They should be in soundproof booths with cameras on either side of the debates. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Mass, you just riot, 25,000 people standing on each other's face. Do whatever you want. Can you go to church? No. Can you go to restaurants?
I prefer sitting. Oh, crap.
Against the corrupt far-left media socialists.
What? Hold on.
Go home to Mom.
Okay, we're right there. Sorry, guys. What the hell? Come on.
Liberal media is upset. Let's see what he does. I don't think he's going to get out. 16 more years.
I
know them all. I know them all. Here we go. You want, you don't have to wear masks. You just riot, 25,000 people standing on each other's face. Do whatever you want. Can you go to
I prefer to sit.
church? No. Can you go to restaurants? No. Can you do anything? No, but you can riot. That's okay. Arson's okay, but challenging Sleepy Joe is totally off limits. So disappointed in Fox. I'm not just running against Joe Biden. I'm running against the corrupt far-left media socialists and communists in the Democrat Party and the special interests who've made a living bleeding our country dry. And that's what's happened for too long. We've turned it around. But don't forget, when they turned it around, I had to fight other things, like a fake impeachment. I had to fight a lot of things that are not like, that wasn't in the agenda. Never forget, and we fought it very well. And frankly, we had great support from the Republican Party, except for one person, but that's all. We had great support. Never forget, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and that's true. And this is a choice election. Our opponents put America last. I put America first, and that's what I've been doing.
Nobody puts America last. Nobody does that.
Our opponents want to erase borders. I will defend our borders. You see what's going on our southern border. And by the way, that wall, 350 miles already, going to be finished very soon. They don't talk about the wall anymore, fellas. What's going on? They don't talk about it. They used to talk about it every day. He's not going to get his financing. But when you're a real estate developer, you always get financing. This was like easy. He's not going to get his financing. Then we got our financing. They don't talk about it anymore. We're up to 300, almost 360 miles. We're doing about 10 miles a week. And yeah, Mexico is paying for it. You do know that, right? They keep saying
it is not.
There's going to be a border charge at the border for the trucks and cars, and it won't even have to be a lot. There's so many cars and trucks going through. But Mexico's paying for it. And they've been.
I worked it out. He was talking about the day pass and stuff like that. So right now the charge I think is $350 a year for the workers pass, something like that. And every immigrant worker coming in would have to pay something like $70 every time they cross the border. It doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
Great. They have 27,000 soldiers right now in Albany.
And again, he's had 4 years to implement some sort of way of getting back the costs of the wall. But he hasn't done anything. There's been no proposals whatsoever. It's probably in the healthcare plan. I should look at that.
And we appreciate it. We appreciate the president of Mexico. Our opponents will send your jobs to China. I will keep your jobs in America. Our opponents want to erase our nation's core values. And I want to defend, preserve our nation's historic values. Our opponents stand with rioters. I stand with the heroes of law enforcement.
Last night he said that the sheriff of Portland endorsed him, and the sheriff of Portland did not endorse him. In fact, the sheriff of Portland said, I've never done anything to Trump before, but now he's made my wife mad at me. Because I guess the guy's wife was like, what? You endorsed, what the hell? He didn't.
Last night
he's never liked Trump, the sheriff of Portland, but Trump just said it. He just said it. Not understanding that the sheriff of Portland is not the sheriff of Portland. The police are in Portland. The sheriff are in the county around Portland. What is that? Mullatol? It starts with an M, the county that Portland's in, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, there's no sheriff in Portland.
Said, say the words law enforcement. Don't even say good or bad.
Somebody will look that up.
Sleepy Joe, say law enforcement.
You said, he did say law enforcement. He also said law and order multiple times.
He goes, no, I'd rather not. Say law enforcement.
He didn't say that. This is not a true story, which is odd.
Sleepy Joe, law.
Multnomah, that's what it is, Multnomah County.
Law enforcement with safety. No, just law enforcement. They tell me that all the time, too. Please, just say.
Literally did not happen. He said law and order and justice is when he said something else after law and order. But he did not say law enforcement and safety.
Law enforcement with safety, sir. No, it's just law enforcement. It's very simple. It's a very simple term. Not with safety, unsafe.
We don't want safety with law enforcement. That's the last thing you'd want with law enforcement. If you start having safety, how are they going to kill everyone? Think about it, Joe.
Safety, I mean, it's law enforcement. He wouldn't say it, right? Then I said, name one group in the entire nation. I've got Minnesota now. I've got everybody.
I've got the sheriff of Portland.
Name one group in the entire nation from law enforcement that's supporting you. Think Chris Wallace. Okay, let's go to the next question. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Let me protect him for Fox. Joe Biden says Antifa is just an idea.
He thinks that Chris Wallace is protecting Biden for Fox?
Well, ideas don't assault cops, and they don't burn down buildings. Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. I proudly received the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Association of Police Organizations, the National Troopers Coalition, the International Union of Police Associations, and law enforcement organizations and departments in Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota. Good. I was getting worried. Texas, New York's finest. They've never done it before. They came in New York's finest. These are great people. They could solve that problem in 2 minutes. All they want is their authority back. It's been taken away from them horribly. New York's finest. Never endorsed a candidate for president before, and they're great people. They can do it. New Jersey, Illinois, and many, many more.
Oh.
I won't bore you, but I could go on all night. I just a joke. Give me one, please. He was joking. I'll tell you, he got saved. Joe Biden is saying he owns the socialism and extremism in his party, that he owns it. It is, it's not his party. It's not Joe's party. That's not, you got...
I mean, he got 68% of the nomination votes. 68%. So, yeah, he's in charge of the party now.
Crazy Bernie, you have AOC +3. You got all these crazy people, these maniacs. You have the Green New Deal. How about the Green New Deal? He disavowed it.
How about it? Literally no votes for the Green New Deal, but yeah, how about it?
Then he said, no, I agree with it. I said, Joe, it's $100 trillion. That's more money than this country can make in the next 100 years.
Joe Biden did not say that he agreed with it. He said, I have the Joe Biden plan. It's not the Green New Deal. It's something different. And Trump was all like, you're trying to ban cows. That's not in there.
If everything.
No more airplanes. Not in there.
It's perfect. It's so crazy. He wants to rebuild every building in the building. Take it down and rebuild every building. Let's say, does that include the Empire State Building? Let's take it down and rebuild it.
Not every building. And it would provide jobs and save energy. And, you know, that's... We already do that, by the way. We already incentivize people to make home improvements in this country for the sake of the nation. You know, America.
People are crazy. No more cows, no more airplanes, no more nothing. Biden even vowed to eliminate our tax cuts. That means he'll take away your child tax credits.
Before on Fox News, he says Biden hates animals of all forms.
Because I gave you child tax credits, $1,000 a child.
Form of a hamburger, shape of an airplane. I'm a super friend. Sorry, you have no friends.
He wants to take away what I gave you and revoke our historic tax relief. Right to the middle class it went. Joe Biden also refused to answer questions about packing the Supreme Court. Don't you love the Supreme Court? I mean, how good is Amy? How good is Amy? How good is Amy?
There's not a single person in that crowd who's not insane and knows something about Amy Coney Barrett.
You know, her professor at Notre Dame, one of the most highly respected. Fill that seat. Fill that seat.
Fill that seat. Fill that
How
seat.
good is she? So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal scholars in the country.
Highly what?
Said, one of the most highly respected legal scholars. So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal. So her professor, one of her professors, one
Sorry,
of the
guys,
most.
hold on.
How good is she? So her professor, one of her professors, one of the most highly respected legal scholars in the country, said, been teaching for a long time, said she is the finest singer. She was first in her class, graduated first in her class. He said she is the finest student he's ever had. Of all the students, thousands of students, she's the single best student that he's ever had. Now he's saying, you know, she ought to run for president instead of Joe. He was like last in his class. She ought to, can you imagine? This is a big difference. I don't know. How do you like Amy for the Supreme Court, yes? If he gets elected, the hard left will appoint radical justices who will terminate the Second Amendment. No more guns. No more guns. As you all saw, Biden also refused to explain why his son Hunter was paid $3.5 million, protected by Chris, by the wife of the former mayor of Moscow.
That's not true. There's no evidence of that.
And they talk about me with Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia. And took out
was paid to a firm with a similar name to a firm that Biden was involved with, but was not paid to Biden's firm. Just had a similar name.
$5 billion from China. He makes millions of dollars a year, right? Then he got the 180.
By the way, paid to the firm, not to Biden, not to Hunter. And again, it's an 87-page document. It goes very in-depth to a lot of allegations, none of which are proven. And says no laws were broken. And not a single government decision was affected. Not one. But the mayor of Moscow,
right?
Who is no longer the mayor of Moscow, by the way, and Trump had business relations or attempted to have business relations with that mayor of Moscow. We have that in writing.
$183,000 a month. Would anybody like that job?
Yes.
You don't have a job. You're not employed. You get thrown out of the military for unfortunate reasons. Your father becomes vice president, and you get hired for $183,000.
Hunter Biden had several jobs, by the way. He's a lobbyist. He's a lawyer on the board of Amtrak. It's just this whole he didn't have a job. It's just nonsense.
A month with, I think, a $3 million upfront payment. I think they could have had him for less.
Allison, Trump's professor at Wharton, said he was the single dumbest student he has ever had the misfortune to try to teach. Yes, Allison, but that professor's not very well respected.
Would anybody take that job? And he knows nothing about energy. What do you know about energy? Well, that's not my thing. Oh, that's okay. I mean, could you imagine if I did it? How about when Sleepy Joe said, you're not...
No, because you actually know nothing about energy.
Getting the $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor. When you get rid of the prosecutor, we'll send you the money. They got rid of the prosecutor. He said, now the money comes. I mean, can you imagine if I said that? Unbelievable. And the press...
We would never know because you wouldn't release your taxes because audits.
Doesn't want to talk about it. And Chris Wallace like, well, we don't want to discuss that. Oh, really, Chris? It's so sad. I'll tell you, it's so hypocritical, so sad. This is a matter of national security and economic security. The Bidens got rich while American workers got robbed. How can you deal with China if you take out $3.5 billion and make all sorts of money? How can you do it? A critical issue in this election, you saw what I did with China. Billions and billions a year they pay us. I gave a lot of it to the farmers, $28 billion. A critical issue because they were targeted by China. A critical issue in this election is the future of the Minnesota Iron Range. You know that. That's why I'm here. This was just supposed to be a little get-together, and then they said, sir, we got thousands of people want to show up. I don't know. I don't know how many are involved. This was supposed to be an Iron Range get-together, but it turns out big. You know, Biden has 20, 30 people. He's got those circles. Today he had a little bit more, like 30 or 40, but they were too close together. I sent him a note, dear Joe. They were too close, 34 people right next to each other. And yet he complained about our rally, right? Our rallies. Now it's an honor that so many people showed up, because this was going to be a little quickie just to say congratulations, because Obama closed the Iron Range, and I opened it, and a man came up to me, a tough man, a man who, a worker,
was he crying?
A construction worker, real worker, and he looked at me.
Yeah.
This is 2 years ago. He said, Sir, you've given us back our life.
Was he crying?
And he was crying. And I said, when was the last time you cried? He said, I can't remember.
I don't
said,
think I've ever cried.
When you were a little baby.
Oh.
You never cried. This is not a crier. This guy was tough as hell. He said, sir, he took our life away. And let me tell you about Joe. Joe will reinstitute that ban in 2 minutes if we lose. So you better vote for him in Minnesota, really. I mean, honestly. He said, you gave our lives back, a lot of lives, thousands of jobs, and they closed it up as Vice President Joe Biden wiped out. He wiped out so much, and that includes what he wiped out in the great state of Minnesota, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to let it happen anymore. Thousands and thousands of workers. We're not going to let it happen anymore. They were all laid off, and now they're all back. And by the way, they say, what the hell do I know about iron ore? But I've bought a lot of steel and a lot of iron over the years. But you know, they say it's the greatest iron ore anywhere in the world, and you should have it. After I put tariffs on foreign steel,
it's iron ore.
The Iron Range came roaring back. But the biggest thing I did was knock out his executive order. I've knocked out so much of the things that he did. He can't like me too much. I would say he doesn't like me too much. Hey, did you see what happened with the FBI today? They caught them cold. Comey either has the worst memory in history. Did you see? I don't remember that. Did you spy on President Trump's campaign? Gee, I don't remember that.
Not how it went.
Did you go for a coup? Did you go for a coup? I don't remember.
No. No.
I'll tell you, we caught him cold. It's about time that something happens, okay? It's about time that something happens.
Did you go for a coup? Mr. Comey, as you sit here today, did you go for a coup? And I gotta be Comey. Hold on. I don't remember. That was a Senate hearing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Because Comey's tall, see? So the camera... I don't remember. It's the stupidest stories. Even a lot of his own people don't, like, on the one hand, it's, oh yeah, no, but you can't listen to what he says. And on the other hand, oh, but he tells it like it is. Oh my God. What is happening? You know what? I've had just about enough of Mr. Trump already tonight, and I got all kinds of stuff to do for the charity. Don't forget, and so many of you, thank you so much to those of you who donated $100 each last night. I'm so impressed with you guys. The 3rd, Saturday. This Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, we will be raising money for booksandbricks.org. Don't wait, though, if you want to donate. Don't wait if you want to donate. Go to booksandbricks.org right now. Ba-da-da-da. Really tough guy. He was crying. Because they sprayed him with mace. Well, I didn't spray him. A lot of people, Trump sprays him. I didn't. I told the National Guard to spray him with mace so that he would cry. Makes for a better story. I'm a showman. I know TV better than anybody. I want to see the Hannity fact check. So let's see if they squeeze that in before the fact check of Joe Biden.
The game, because they see through this game now.
Yeah.
They know the swamp.
How about the fact check?
Oligarchs. And to them, all of a sudden, guess what? They want to know, where's civility
Fact
all
check.
of a sudden? Oh, okay. Democrats, media mob, Hollywood, same names, different day. Please spare us your phony outrage over the tone.
It's the same day.
And tenor of a presidential debate. We know what civility looks like to the left. We've watched you for the last 4 years. Yeah, guilty. President Trump fights back hard. He's guilty as charged. Trump, the fighter, he doesn't have patience for liars or smear merchants or conspiracy theorists, those that have dragged his family through hell, the country through hell, those that want to pressure this country into socialism that will destroy the very principles that made America the greatest, richest country on the face of the earth.
People being bussed into New Hampshire to vote in an election, illegals, 3 million of them voting in California, Pizzagate, a child sex ring in the basement of a pizza place. No, Trump doesn't have time for conspiracy theories.
That has used its power to advance the human condition, and that would include Joe Biden, which brings us, by the way, to an important Hannity fact check that the mob and the media will never do.
Yes.
And that is the many Biden lies and deceptions from last night's debate. First, let's listen to what Joe had to say about his new Green Deal, his party socialist new Green Deal. Take a listen.
Take a listen.
Plans.
Do you support the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Do you support that?
No, I don't support the Green New Deal.
Oh, you don't? Oh, well, that's a big statement.
I support
that means you
the
just
Biden.
lost the radical left.
I support the Biden plan that I put forward.
Okay.
The Biden plan, which is different than what he calls the radical Green New Deal.
All right.
David, I'm the mob. You are the media. That's just the way it is.
Oh, the Biden plan? We came up with a new name. Well, did he just say he doesn't support the Green New Deal? Because he's lying. Look at Joe's own website. It says, quote, Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate challenges we face.
Okay, hold right there, because I got Biden's site up right here. And, oh, this is the Unity Task Force recommendations. Give me a second. I can guarantee you there's more to that quote. Let's go to Joe's vision on the website. I'm going to pull it over so you guys can share. And let's see, clean energy future, Biden plan, blah, blah, blah. I bet that's the one right there. It's a big topic. And hold on, green... new. Okay, that's not there. Hold on. Let's do it this way. Let's go joebiden.com, Green New Deal. And okay. Here we go. This is it right here. Clean energy, environmental justice. Let's find it. Green New Deal. Here we go. Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate changes we face. It powerfully captures two basic truths. which are at the core of his plan. The United States urgently needs to embrace greater ambition on an epic scale to meet the scope of this challenge. And number 2, our environment and our economy are completely and totally connected. So two framework keys out of the Green New Deal. But supporting the whole Green New Deal with the no cows. So no, that is not a lie. I'm going to say that is a point for Biden. Let's go back to Hannity.
Biden also lied when he tried to deny the existence of his socialist minders in the Democratic Party. He announced, "I am the Democratic Party." Well, tell that to the Biden and Sanders Unity Task Force that literally created Biden's entire economic agenda, and he even plagiarized parts of that. It's actually 110 real pages that you can read, and its product includes proposals that were taken right from Bolshevik Bernie word for word in the Bernie Sanders campaign. It says in there, it calls for the confiscation and redistribution of money, something called environmental justice. It calls for government-paid family leave, government-paid medical leave, broad student loan forgiveness.
Government-paid medical leave, government-paid family. Oh, communism! The word confiscation does not appear in the 110-page plan, just FYI.
Universal government-run health care, amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants, free health care for illegal immigrants. It will prevent ICE from deporting even...
Right, that's part of the plan. But that doesn't mean that Bernie or that Biden won't be the president.
Criminal illegal immigrants when they get out of jail. And by the way, it will also eliminate bail rather, just like they have in New York. Hasn't worked out well in New York. And President Trump named it the Bernie Biden Manifesto. But today, Biden struggled to remember much of anything.
He mistook Biden for Bernie. What an idiot. Don't rewind this 30 seconds, please.
About his own radical plan that he agreed to. Take a look.
I've worked very hard with all segments of the party. We put together a platform that is a platform that I fully support. The president keeps talking about, what's he call it? This, he has some name for our platform. I can't remember what it is. It's the manifesto. Thank you. The manifesto. Well, the Democratic platform is the one that I've signed on to, the one that the vast majority, overwhelming majority of Democrats signed on to.
Oh, okay. So Biden's socialist platform written by Bolshevik Bernie himself. And of course, he appointed, socialist Ocasio-Cortez to run his climate policy. You know, the person that, brought us the new Green Deal. He called Beto O'Rourke
the Green New Deal.
His gun czar, and he picked the most radical U.S. senator as his VP's choice. Biden isn't the Democratic Party. Joe Biden.
The most liberal, not the most radical. And part of the reason, there is an organization that rates the senators on how liberal they are, everybody in Congress, and how liberal they are. And a part of your rating is increased by the number of pieces of legislation that you write or co-sponsor. Kamala Harris, she gets it done. She has written more pieces of legislation than any sophomoric senator in decades. So that sort of skews how liberal she looks. Bernie, not a lot of legislation put forward because his plans just have very little chance of passing. But Kamala, she is busy writing and co-sponsoring all day long. So that makes her look more liberal than she actually is. But on the other hand, who cares? She's the vice presidential nomination. She was picked. You can vote for this, or you can vote for that. Or you can vote for this, or you can go for...
Biden, to be honest, is totally controlled by the radical...
So far, 2 fact checks, and one of them is opinion.
...socialist in his base, but he knows that's not going to appeal to, let's say, middle-of-the-road voters, and he tried to make that very clear last night. He's racing to the center, but the left knows that they own him. Joe's lies don't stop.
That's an opinion. That's not a fact check.
There. He actually called Antifa an idea and not an organization.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, sell that to all those businesses that were burned to the ground. Sell that to the police officers that had their heads bashed in or that were hit with Molotov cocktails or bricks or, let's see, frozen water bottles or canes or hockey sticks or knives or got shot. You just can't believe your lying eyes, apparently. And by the way, the White House, they just labeled Antifa a terrorist organization and also labeled.
Yeah, Joe, sell that to the director of the FBI, that Antifa's movement or an ideology. Sell that, Joe. Hold on, Joe. Don't sell it yet. Joe, hold on. I need you not to sell, Joe. For some reason, what I'm trying to do. There. Hold on, Joe. Okay, go ahead, Joe. Sell that to the director of the FBI.
We look at Antifa as more of an ideology or a movement than an organization.
Wow, he sold him fast. That is impressive. I hope the FBI didn't spend too much money buying that from Joe. Wait, Joe said in the debate that that's where he got that information from. So again, if this is a fact check, I did. Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, appointed by Trump.
The KKK a terrorist organization, but during the debate, Biden lied again, and he suggested that the president refuses to condemn white supremacy. Well, we have the video.
He did not say that. He did not say that in the debate.
Tape to prove he lied there also. We'll play that later in the show. In fact, we'll play a montage of the dozens of times that President Trump has forcefully condemned white supremacists.
As opposed to last night, which was the second highest rated show of television in all time is what higher than MASH. That's what I've heard. Anyway, when he said that the Proud Boys should stand back and stand by, just back up a little bit and just wait right there. Wait right there. I'll give you the signal.
That's coming up. But first, more Biden lies include the whopper about his commitment to law and order. Was that supposed to be a joke? Because during the debate, when pressed, he couldn't name a single law enforcement agency that actually supports him. And that's because Biden says police become the enemy. Yep, he said it.
He said that when we give the police military equipment and send them into the neighborhoods, they become the enemy. He didn't say police are the enemy. Anyway, context, but what the hell?
And openly talked about redirecting funds away from police. And let's not.
Yep, that was a doctored video. He did not say that. He said he wanted to enhance. I mean, if you're going to talk about that, then let's take a look at the actual 110-page manifesto. Our system has let's see. I'm not even going to go into it, but basically he wants to give the police more funding for mental health, for police mental wellness, I think they call it, for training, for equipment, more money. And he said last night that he's against defunding the police. I don't know how much clearer that has to be.
Forget, as I pointed out earlier, according to the Bernie Biden manifesto, he also wants to eliminate cash bail, which has been an utter disaster wherever it's been tried. And of course, Biden also lied about his zero experience son Hunter. You know, the one that had no experience in oil, gas, energy, or Ukraine that got millions and millions of dollars. And by the way, he said
he's a lawyer. He's been part of several law firms. He was on the board of directors of organizations, including Amtrak, which is a pretty big organization. He was a lobbyist.
Son never accepted a multi-million-dollar wire transfer from the former First Lady of Moscow. That's a lie. Look at the news.
It's not a lie. It does not prove that allegation in the 87-page Johnson-Grassley report. It does not. It's an allegation. There's a law firm with a name similar to the one that Hunter Biden works for, and they got the money. And Hunter Biden, at least his lawyer, has said, like, we have no involvement with that organization. But, you know, some money went from someone to someone else. And even if Hunter Biden did accept that money, okay. Totally legal. There's nothing like you can make money in this country. I don't know why Sean Hannity hates capitalism so much.
Senate report that came out, it shows, in fact, he did receive those funds. And Biden.
It does not show that.
Said his son's work with Burisma.
I actually read the 87 pages. It's pretty funny.
Was totally proper and legitimate, even though several Obama-era State Department officials raised real serious alarm and concern as early as 2015.
Opinion.
And that U.S. Senate report, all 87 pages, confirmed that Hunter Biden's business dealings created a counterintelligence and extortion concern for this country. And maybe the worst lie of all, well, the whole debate probably surrounds Biden's laughable revisionist history surrounding coronavirus. Believe it or not, Biden acted like he was always in favor of the travel ban to and from China that saved countless American lives. In reality, he did call it.
The virus is already here. It didn't work. Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, the World Health Organization said to do it. Dr. Fauci said to do it. Yeah, you stop travel, but it didn't stop travel. And it was too late, obviously. 200,000 dead. And because we weren't testing, we didn't realize it was coming in from Europe. Why? Because we weren't testing. Why? Because Trump had no interest in testing. Why? Because he was playing down the virus. It's on tape, Sean.
Hysterical xenophobia and fear-mongering as late as the 18th of March. Little late.
No, he was saying what was xenophobic was the referral of the virus to the virus as the China virus. That's what he was saying. When this travel ban, which wasn't a travel ban, was being announced, Joe Biden was on stage giving a rally. That's when he made the comments. So how he's watching, it wasn't Stephen Hahn, it was Secretary Azar announce the travel ban and commenting on it at the same time. I don't know. I mean, if he's that talented, honestly, the guy should be president.
Joe Biden and his fellow Democrats, along with the mob, they will say and do anything for power. And all this outrage, I can't believe what is happening to our country. That debate was hard.
Phyllis, I would love that.
Oh, they yelled at each other. Oh, it got loud. They were talking over each other.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of where the country is right now, unfortunately. I wish it was better. I wish it wasn't so. But that's what elections are about.
Yeah, that is where the country is right now. I wish it was better. I wish it wasn't so as well, Hannity.
When Joe flat out refuses to answer this question about whether he would support destroying the judicial branch of government.
No, adding judges to the Supreme Court would not destroy the judicial branch of government. I mean, yeah, a valid point. He didn't want to answer the question about adding judges to the Supreme Court. He didn't want to answer that question. Go ahead and attack him on that. But don't come up with this whole, it's going to destroy, it's going to destroy the Justice Department. Come on, Sean. Have you no dignity, sir? Just destroy. The Supreme Court can operate with 8 justices. It can operate with 13 justices. It can operate with 5 justices. It's fine. Hold on.
You know what I think as a Democrat?
Hold on. I got a comment from Kevin Lee Daughter. She's saying, you know what I think as a Democrat? You guys can probably hear her. Go ahead.
You know what I think as a Democrat?
What?
We should abolish the suburbs.
Oh, yeah. No, as she's a Democrat. She's a young Democrat. She's a Bernie Democrat, and she says we should abolish the suburbs. So there you are. I guess Hannity's right. And that's about it for me. Good night, everybody. Let's go on.
With an illicit scheme called court packing.
Illicit scheme. It's not illicit. It's perfectly legal. The Constitution allows for it. The Constitution doesn't say anything about how many justices there should be. And presidents have changed the number of justices. FDR wanted to add justices to the court as well. And that's when it became known as court packing, because the Republicans didn't want him to do it.
I think we can all fill in the blanks. He says we need an election. Let's hear from the people. Meaning, if you elect me, of course I'll do whatever they tell me to do on the left. The left in this country and their supporters, they no longer care about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. 3 equal, co-equal branches of government, checks and balances.
The Bill of Rights or the 14th Amendment with Roe versus Wade. Yeah, it's all. They don't care about any of that stuff.
They don't care about our great American system. They only care about power and hating Donald.
The peaceful transfer of power. Democrats don't care about that.
Trump, and in 34 short days, the only way to...
Are they short days? God, I wish that was true. Are we doing 23-hour days now? Are we moving to metric days finally? Can we just make it 3 or 4 short days? This man's got power. I'm a grown man and I'm crying. Sir, please can you make the days shorter, sir?
And
you know what? There are 24 hours in a day. I don't think that science knows.
Madness is to show up at the polls like the future of this country depends on it, because it does. We're going to dip into the Trump rally as soon as he starts talking about last night's debate. But first, here with reaction, Fox News contributor Dan Bongino.
No. You were doing a fact check. You've yet to do a single fact check. You're not even going to show us the comment on... Sean, that's something that actually makes Joe look bad. When he's asked, will you pack the court? And he doesn't want to answer the question. That's evasive, okay? That's what Hillary was. That's why she lost the swing states. That and the Russian interference with the African Americans and the campaign of Trump and a head and a manager, and he's given the things to the Russian agent, and then they found out about the black people, and then he sent them Instagram and Facebook, and they targeted them and they called them deterrents. But also because Hillary was a little bit smarmy. Play that. I guess honestly it doesn't. The people that watch the Hannity, they don't care. Did you guys see the other day, I think I was watching it with you guys, where they had like a bunch of farmers in a barn, and they said, how many people think that China sent the coronavirus here intentionally? And they're all, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you betcha. They sent it over. But those are the kind of people that support Trump. Like China somehow controlled the spread to attack us. 188 countries, but they were trying to attack us. I don't know what Biden answers there. It was better just not to answer it, but you bet in the town hall he's going to get answered. But he's got to come up with a good answer to packing the court. There are reasonable answers, but the election could be won or lost. Honestly, I think it's already decided. I don't think there's many undecided voters out there in the swing states that are going to have that much effect. That being said, I have been wrong before. All right. Let's just go back to, we'll check in on the president there and see if anything's happening there. Here's what we'll do. What we're going to do is we're going to go look at Asen's feed and see if he has posted anything of interest from the rally. Because if he's watching, okay, this is even better. This is Hannity on, it's Lindsey Graham on, on Hannity. Here he goes.
Of what happened with the Russian collusion and get Amy Barrett 22nd. The Democrats are going crazy, raising money against the president, myself, LindseyGraham.com. They're loading me up because I'm chairman of the Judiciary Committee, trying to get to the bottom of what happened with the Russian collusion and get Amy Barrett through. LindseyGraham.com. Help us all. We need your help.
All right. Let's go back to the president, Minnesota.
22nd. The Democrats are going crazy, raising money against the president.
So sad that Lindsey doesn't have any money. Please be generous and donate to booksandbricks.org. Booksandbricks.org. We're doing a big fundraising thing this Saturday at 7 p.m. And I wake up at night screaming in fear that we won't raise the money that we need to build the libraries at the schools and send the kids to the schools in Kenya. And if you're a big Obama fan, remember, that's where he's from. What else? Here we go.
Don't do that. That's not. Can you believe this guy? That supports you. And then Chris Wallace says, don't do that. That's not. Can you believe this guy? I was debating 2 people last night.
I'm pretty sure we saw that. So I guess nothing remarkable has happened since then. Oh, you know what? I get what Asen's doing. Asen is just watching Hannity like us. He's not even watching the rally. The rallies are so boring. Let's go back to it, though. Let's go live and see if he's even there anymore. Okay, and then we'll let you go. Oh, that's it. It's over. Let's go randomly 3 minutes back.
Your senator's going to come in. Hi, Jason. How you doing, sir?
Oh, good. Oh, we got a sir story. I'm so good at this. Here we go.
Minnesota's winning too much. We have to stop it. I said, what are you talking about? Sir, we have to stop it. It's just too much winning. We have to stop it. I say, Jason.
This seems like a totally plausible story.
Let me tell you, I know the people of Minnesota, and they love winning. They're going to keep winning. We're going to win. We're going to win so much.
Colleen, do you want me to go look at the things on Twitter right now, Colleen?
We're going to keep on winning, and you're going to have the greatest year that you've ever had next year and the year after.
Just ignore this year, completely ignore the fact that I didn't do any testing in February, that the CDC, my CDC, screwed up the testing. Don't worry about that. The 200,000 Americans are dead, including thousands in Minnesota. Ignore all of that. Next year, we're going to have the best year. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this plan.
And that's where it's heading, so I just...
Oh, clips from tonight. Okay, hold on. Looks like our intrepid reporter, Colleen, tagged me in a couple of things. Give me one moment, please. Here we go. Aaron's watching it. So Aaron Rupar is watching. Let's find. And, here we got a whole thread. Thank you, Colleen. Let's watch the debate here. Did we see that? Okay. We did that. We did that. Okay, here we go. Here is President Trump mocking Biden for public health precautions.
I don't know how many are involved. This was supposed to be an Iron Range get-together, but it turns out big. You know, Biden has 20, 30 people. He's got those circles. Today he had a little bit more.
Yeah, we saw this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Tough man. We saw this too. We saw the highlights in the first 7 minutes that we watched. Okay, opening up the Iron Range. Yeah, it is made up. And by the way, there are still 700,000 fewer manufacturing jobs, including in the Iron Range, than there were when Trump took office. 700,000 fewer.
Countless jobs that are so important. The radical left will shut down.
Go ahead.
Down the Iron Range forever. It's going to be gone. They're not going to be able to open it again. Not easy to open a thing like that. Not easy. A lot more difficult than people would think. Earlier today, I took another historic step for your state when I signed an executive order providing billions of dollars to jumpstart production of critical and other minerals, which will create countless jobs.
Critical and other minerals.
That are so important. Executive order providing billions of dollars to jumpstart production of critical and other minerals, which...
What is he trying? What is on the teleprompter? To jumpstart production of critical and other mineral. Is he talking about? Hold on. Let's find the order and see if we can figure out what the hell he's saying. That's where we are. Hold on. We got to find out about this. Yeah, there's the FBI director, presidential orders. We'll go to the White House and we'll find the presidential actions. There they are right there. Reliance on critical minerals. So it was critical and other minerals. Critical and other minerals. I think it probably just said critical minerals, and he just read critical, and he thought there was going to be something after it, and it said minerals, and he's just like, and other minerals? What? Oh, wait, we were watching Aaron. Hold on.
Which will create countless...
Go ahead.
When I signed an executive order providing billions of dollars to jumpstart production of critical and other minerals, which will create countless jobs and are so important for our...
Critical and other minerals are so important.
Country, minerals.
And criticals.
I will always protect the state of Minnesota. I will do that. It's been very good to me.
What about California?
We almost won it. One more speech. I had a choice. Do I do Michigan, which we won? I should have done them both. One more speech. We lost by very little. Think of that. If Joe gets in, the...
Okay, here we go.
Or she gets caught. Angel, who's going to...
Oh, I'm not going to like this one.
Do what we've done for you. Right? Another massive issue for Minnesota is the election of Joe Biden's plan to inundate your state with a historic...
The election of Joe Biden's plan?
Flood of refugees.
This is the thing I hate most about Trump. That refugee is now a bad word. I have known many refugees in my life. And every single one of them, I assume, have been wonderful people.
Biden and
I mean, I do not understand the disconnect of the evangelicals. On the one hand, we love you, Christ. We will follow your teachings. And on the other hand, hey, you, Meek. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Meek. Get out of here, terrorists.
Crazy Bernie Sanders have agreed on a manifesto. Did you see last night? I didn't agree. After the show, they said, oh, actually, he did. Oh, great. They fact-checked. They found out he made a mistake. Slight
Wait, did you watch Hannity too? No, he did not.
mistake. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. But they pledged a 700% increase in refugees. 700%.
Yeah, to bring it back slightly above the level that it was a couple of years ago before you cut the refugee requirements.
Congratulations.
I should say limits.
Minnesota. Congratulations. Now, and what about Omar, where she gets caught harvesting? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, good point, Joanna. This country was populated by refugees.
And I hope you...
particularly religious refugees.
U.S. attorney is involved. What is going on with Omar? I've been reading these reports for 2 years about how corrupt and crooked she is. Let's get with it. Let's get with it.
Lizzie says, our favorite Colbert quote, if this is going to be a Christian nation that doesn't help the poor, either we have to pretend that Jesus was just as selfish as we are, or we've got to acknowledge that he commanded us to love the poor and serve the needy without condition, and then admit that we just don't want to do it.
I mean, frankly, harvesting's terrible, but it's the least of the things that she has done. How the hell? Then she tells us how to run our country. Can you believe it? How the hell did Minnesota elect her? What the hell is wrong with you people? Right?
Well, it wasn't them.
What the hell happened?
Democracy? Is that a trick question?
These guys in the stand up. Are you a big fan of Omar? I don't think so. Stand up. Look at this guy. It looks like nobody's going to fight him. I don't think you're a big fan of Omar, right? No, she's been crooked for a long time. This is the least of it. It's time, and you know what, AOC also, it's time. It's time. You take a look at what the corruption, the disgusting corruption. 700% increase, refugees coming from the most dangerous places in the world, including Yemen, Syria, and your favorite country, Somalia, right? You love Somalia. This guy loves Somalia. Biden will turn Minnesota into a refugee camp, and he said that. Overwhelming public resources, overcrowding schools, and inundating your hospitals. You know that.
Yep, if anybody moves here, suddenly your hospitals are inundated. But don't worry, because everybody gets a ventilator. Wow. Turning Minnesota into a refugee camp. And Biden said that. But can anyone find that quote of Biden saying that he was going to turn Minnesota into a refugee camp? Because I have just a hint. You know that when it's like Tuesday and someone says, hey, can you do this on Thursday? And your brain says, I think I'm doing something on what is Thursday? What's the date on Thursday? And then they say it's the 14th and you're like, what have I got? Hold on. 14th. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. Yeah, I can do that. Kind of a little tingle in the back. That same little tingle was telling me Trump might be making that up.
Crazy. I just explained it. Talk about the suburbs, women in the suburbs. I ended a regulation that nobody would have done. This brings public housing, low-income housing into the suburbs. And by the way, just so we can get this straight,
it doesn't actually. It just encourages the suburbs, anywhere, to take a look and say, is there anything you can do to help that happen?
30% of the people in the suburbs are low-income people. 30%.
No. 30% of people in the suburbs are minorities. It is possible that 30% of the people in the suburbs are also low income. That is possible. They maybe they're living below the poverty. I don't know. Somebody can look that up. I don't have the time to do it.
30% of the people in the suburbs are minorities. And so we're ruining this American dream for everybody.
Hold on.
But
Did he
it's
just
not people. 30% of the people in the suburbs are minorities. And so we're ruining that nobody would have done. This brings public housing, low-income housing into the suburbs. And by the way, just so we can get this straight, 30% of the people in the suburbs are low-income people. 30% of the people in the suburbs are minorities.
He said it. He fucking said it. He thinks they're one and the same. And still people will vote for him. 2 to 10% of the African Americans will vote for him. Up to 40% of the Hispanics will vote for him, even though he just said that.
And so we're ruining this American dream for everybody, but he's got...
Oh, and those minorities? You're ruining the American dream for everyone. Knock it off.
A plan. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. Having to do with zoning. They zone you out. They build low-income housing next to your house. It's crazy. And then I hear, I'm not doing well in the suburbs. I'm not doing well in the suburbs. Are you people crazy? Are you crazy?
I got 70% of the suburbs. Yeah, of course, I don't have the other 30% of the minorities with the low incomes. I got but 70% of the white people.
I just explained this. No, I just explained it. Thank you. No, it's crazy. And they came to me, great people, Ben Carson, a lot of great people, and they came to me and they said, sir, why don't we just amend it? I said, no, really, I want it out. I want it over. I want it ended. Well, it would be a lot easier to amend it. I said, no, I want it over. It's not right. It's killing your suburbs. And it is. It's killing your suburbs.
In a suburb right now, not dying, right? Seems to be fine. Guy right over there, Hispanic guy. Obviously low income, you know. In the house it's renting for $4,000 a month. That low income minority. Stop killing my suburb. Hold on, I gotta open the window.
And then they say,
that's too hot, it's 100 degrees.
Women in the suburbs don't like President Trump. I don't think so. That happened last time. Remember? That happened last. Remember last time? They said he will not do well with women. He will not do well with women.
That was actually his high school gym teacher who said that. Okay.
We will develop and distribute a vaccine in record time. It's going to be very, very soon. And before the end of the year, maybe sooner than that.
Again, promising that. Okay, hope he's right.
On November 3rd, Minnesota will decide whether we end this pandemic, defeat the virus, and return to record prosperity. Either way, we're returning. Either way. We're going to have the vaccine. We're rounding the turn. Well, whether we allow Joe Biden to kill the recovery, you know, he wants a shutdown. This guy says, let's shut it down. A lot of death caused by shutdown. Depression.
Way more death caused by the coronavirus.
Death, drugs, alcoholism. Horrendous family fights, horrendous family fights. And he wants to destroy those suburbs by abolishing single-family zoning. All of these things are just...
Nobody is abolishing single-family zoning. No. Have you ever driven across much of the country? There is space for families to live in their own homes. We don't have to mandate that all suburbs are suddenly apartment complexes. Does he have any comprehension? Remember, he grew up in giant houses and then moved to golden towers with golden fixtures and golden showers. And he has no idea. That's one of the best lines from last night was Joe Biden saying, you have no idea what life is like in the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs.
A horrible thing, what he wants to do.
He's referring to drunk Brad Parscale. If you haven't seen Brad Parscale being taken down by a linebacker from the Green Bay Packers, go watch it. It's funny. I guess you just Google Brad Parscale cops.
And I think he's going to...
we can do it now. Hold on, let's watch this.
Because he's not smart enough to understand that the other side has big problems. You know, we did something great. We had the greatest economy in history, and we had to close it down because we would have lost millions of lives. And now we're opening it up, and we're doing it at a level.
Because everything's changed. The virus went away.
Level like nobody's ever seen before, and it's a great thing. And we're going to be back in business very soon, except for some Democrat stuff.
Okay. What else we got?
First lady, I told her, First lady, darling, you're going to be so proud of me tonight. We're going to watch television, and you're not going to believe how big this got. What happened? What happened?
Is he trying to do Melania's accent?
Darling, I won the...
Dude, don't try and do Melania. Seriously, she's got like heels, and if you saw her at the, she does not want that to happen.
I was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for Israel, right? Bahrain,
For Israel.
United Arab Emirates, and then again, I was nominated again for Serbia, Kosovo, all different. Then I was nominated a third time, but I said first time, second time I was a little bit, yeah, I know, I love you too. But I said to our First Lady, watch this tonight.
He wants to get out of there. He doesn't have time for the "We love you" chant. Again, he can't feel love. He's a sociopath.
My darling, it's going to be. And I turned to Lester Holt, #2 show. I turned to Lester Holt, and they covered one story was about rain, another was about the environment, another was about something else, another was a bad hit on me, another was something else. So now we're through with about half of it. Now they went to the longest commercial I've ever seen. Not supposed to. You know when you're...
So you're the President of the United States. You get nominated for a Nobel Prize of some kind. At least that's the word on the street. Someone called you and told you that. And you immediately rush to the news to see if it made the news. I would think that as president, with 200,000 people dying, 7 million cases of an invisible enemy, an election coming up, you've got better stuff to do than see if your name got on the news?
Report the fake news. You're not supposed to get free airtime from the U.S. government, right? Does anybody know what that means? And then they went on to the second half. Again and again and again. She looked at me, darling, I don't think they're going to cover this. I said, it's impossible. It's a nomination.
It's not a win.
For the Nobel Peace Award. It's impossible. Guess what? It ended with
Peace Prize.
We got nothing. Then 3 days later, we got nothing. And on the third time,
Why they report? Oh, okay.
Time, I said, let's not even watch. We're not going to get in it.
Yeah.
These people are sick.
It's a nomination. Nobody cares. Win the thing. What else? See if she tagged me in stuff other than that. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, politically speaking. Oh, I did. I posted the Respected already while we were watching this. And did we see that one? This is another one. Okay. Oh, that's me. I just clicked on myself. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn on the news. See if I made the news. Okay. And I think we got all of those. Let's just go back to Aaron and see if we missed anything. Oh, there's Aaron and a baby. That's his kid. That's cute. Okay, fact check. The unemployment rate in Minnesota has increased by about 50% since Trump took office. That is correct. I like now that people are actually using, okay, this is today. This is what's happening right now in the United States. The virus has been here for almost a year. We can start saying, hey, you're responsible for this, man. Other countries are opening back up safely, and the economies are coming back. Okay.
Early voting is already begun. Don't wait. But if we don't win, I'm never calling you great again. So get your friends, get your family.
Didn't win last time. Fun fact. And I think that's it for Aaron. Let's just find Parscale here. Okay, we'll go to video. The Trump campaign is quietly purging its website of videos featuring Brad Parscale. So he's resigned. Here we go. This is Parscale's house, apparently.
Okay, come out here.
He comes out of it without wearing his shirt.
All right, relax.
He's obviously tattooed himself orange in support of Trump. He's carrying the beer can. So it's always a good idea to approach the cop coming in for the DV. That's domestic violence, for those of you who don't know. carrying the beer can with you. Good move. You don't want to spill that can. Put that on the bed, just the side rails of the bed of this semi-pickup truck. It's not even a full pickup. I would so laugh if that wasn't an American-made car.
So she started saying all this shit.
She started saying all this shit. Another good way to start. Now, what you want to do there is pivot, round the turn, and tell the cop that you pay his salary. He said, to the ground, man. And Parscale just stands there. Oh! And the Saints get to the quarterback and lay him down flat. That's going to be a loss of 4 to 10 years in jail. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
Law and order, law and order, law and... That's one of Trump's best people. Man, that guy got Death Starred. Don't cover up your body cam, dude. Do you have any weapons on you right now? Do you have any clothing on you right now? You're okay. Okay. Watch your legs.
Okay, good. I didn't do anything.
I want to see the rest of that. That would be quite an interesting conversation. Yeah, they do. So this is the United States. We carry long guns around everywhere. Yeah, and this is, I don't know where he lives. It looks like it's a fairly well-to-do neighborhood somewhere in Florida. So let's see. Here's the police video. Aaron got the full video, maybe. Oh, it's 3:18.
He's acting crazy, and so I went outside to the backyard and let him just like show up. And he was just like going irate, and he like came out of his office, cocked a gun, went back, and was like, "Okay, this is like fucked up." So I went to the front yard.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so she obviously called and said he is armed. Sometimes the 911 will ask, does he have any weapons? So apparently he came out, he was yelling, he came out to the backyard, cocked his gun.
And then I saw him like, I was sitting in the front yard, I was trying to like, give him space, chill out. I saw him like, look out the window. And then I heard a loud boom.
Hello, Brad. How you doing, sir? Hey, I got him on. Hey, Brad. How you doing? This is Officer Skaggs, the Fort Lauderdale Police Department.
Oh my God.
You okay? You okay in there? Okay. All right. Can you do us a favor? Can you walk out with no weapons?
Oh, so they called him inside the house and he answered.
Can you come outside with no weapons, please?
Okay, we're waiting for 25 with this subject.
Sir, can you just come step out of the house?
Charlie 10, we're 25 on the plan.
All right. Sir, just do us a favor. We're just trying to check on you. All right. We'll just. I know. Okay. That's perfectly fine. But just do us a favor and just come outside. Charlie 14. I still have him landline. He's refusing to come out.
Oh, good. Smart move.
Back inside. Came back out of his office, like cocked his handgun, and went back inside.
You got a lot of guns in the house?
I think we have like 4 or 5 of them.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm sorry, but you should always know exactly how many guns are in your house.
Rifles like that, or a lot of handguns?
He has a shotgun, he has a rifle, he has a Glock. And so after he did that...
Okay, you notice the cop in the background, once he started hearing about the number of guns, that's when he grabbed his weapon.
I was like, okay, he just needs to he's really getting out of control. So I went to the front yard, and I was just sitting in the front yard, just like trying to chill out for a second. And so then I saw him like open the blinds in the front yard. And then he closed them, and then I heard what I thought was a gunshot.
Yo.
Oh, he's got a dog. I like him.
Okay, come out here. That's fine. I'm your friend. All right, relax.
Oh, he says, I'm not trying to kill myself, is what he says when he stands up.
Nice. Okay. What's going on?
She fucking...
Okay. Let's stand in the shade. Okay, don't do this. I'm not doing anything. Relax. What happened?
So, she started saying all this shit.
Hey, get on the ground, man. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground, man. Fuck you.
Boom! What did I say? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, the cops all wear spurs in Florida. It's a thing. It's you know, it's like the Mounties. They have to wear that hat even though they don't have a horse. Spurs in Florida. Okay. Anybody else send me anything? I think we're good there. Hold on. Nope. Okay, guys. This already has lasted way too long. It's 7:36, so I am going to go back to the charity thing. Don't forget, booksandbricks.org. Big charity fund drive coming up on Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier, Chris Wilson. No, they don't mess around. I'm impressed. And quite honestly, there's a bunch of NFL teams that could use a good left tackle. On defensive linebacker. Defensive linebacker, I should have said. Because left tackle would never do that. But yeah, he did. They dug right. That's where they train you. Put the shoulder directly into just below where the tummy ends and lift up. And that's what the guy did. That was classic. That was good. The internet's been fine so far. In fact, 0 dropped frames so far. For those of you who don't know, yeah, we did have the Spectrum guy came by today and said, hey, yeah, what's going on? And I showed him the path of all the graphs. And it's like, yeah, we get good signal and then it just dies. And then it comes back and then it just dies. And it's completely random. And he's like, yep. That's everybody. What he explained is that there's no way that the internet companies could have envisioned what has happened this summer of everybody using internet at home all the time. So the servers just can't handle it. So there wasn't anything they could really do for us. It's going to get fixed. I just hope that it can... what? Ruth Ann, you just donated $200 for Books and Bricks? I don't know. I don't know if I got it. And if you did, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you, Ruth Ann. That's awesome. I'd put your name here. I'll do this. Watch. I can do this. Here, hold on. I do. I don't. Here. There. Hold on. Come on. Hold on. It's coming. It's coming. I swear to God, it's coming. There you go. Ruth Ann, I'll move it for you. Here, we'll make it even more visible. We'll get right there. Thank you, Ruth Ann. No, that makes it look like I'm Ruth Ann, and you're way better looking than that. I'm sure of it, Ruth Ann. Put you right here. There you go. Oh, you know what I can do? Is I can do... Boom. This is what producer Joanna would want to happen if it was her donating. Right here. Are we ready? Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Thank you to Ruth Ann. She donated $200 today. And that's okay with us because we love Ruth Ann. Ba-da-da. Trademark 2020. Thank you, Ruth Ann. If you want to be really cool like Ruth Ann and get your own show like that, I'm sure I should just do stuff like that during the broadcast on Saturday. And the people who run the charity will be like, is this the kind of thing that they do on the YouTubes? Lizzie, you want to get that kind of attention? Surprise me with a big donation. Don't. Folks, if you cannot afford a donation, please do not donate. Just tell people about the broadcast. This Saturday, booksandbricks.org. I've got to come up with a link, booksandbricks.org/ I'll let you guys help me. What should it be? Something simple, keeping in mind that a lot of the people who will be coming to this are elderly and the internet's not really their thing. Booksandbricks.org/ fundraiser just sounds like a long word. It takes place of their dinner that they have every year, but we can call it booksandbricks.org something so that they go directly to the YouTube. Booksandbricks.org/ telethon? Is that hard to spell, do you think? 2020 kind of has a negative, I mean, people don't like 2020, but let's see. So booksandbricks.org 2020 just goes right back to booksandbricks.org. So anything might do that. Hold on, let me check. There's a web guy, and once I tell him what it's going to be, he can create this. Let me just make a random link and see if it goes back to the main page. No, okay, so 2020 is already taken. We can't do that. YouTube is already taken. Meg, Lizzie. That made me laugh, Lizzie, so I appreciate that. So, good job, Lizzie. Lizzie! Lizzie, Lizzie, Lizzie. Lizzie made me laugh. Lizzie, good job making Kevin laugh. We like that. Thank you. Okay, that's enough. Just put you right there. And then, oh, you know what? That's too small. We'll make you bigger, Lizzie. We'll make you about that big. And we'll put you right in the center of the screen. Good job, Lizzie. You should be happy with that. Old people rock, estate sale, yard sale. Boomer. Stop. Stop it. What should we call it? Okay, Boomer. That's good. So we had, when the Google phones, when you get your Google phones, you can make it turn on by saying, okay, Google. See, and then you tell it to do things. That's the Android version of Siri, but it's way better than Siri. Anyway, we got my dad a new phone for Christmas, and it wants to learn your voice. So at some point, to set that up, it says, we'll just say giggle. Say, hey, giggle. And then you say, hey, giggle. And you say, hey, giggle again. Hey, giggle. Say, hey, giggle again. And then it learns your voice so that it can differentiate it from other sounds. And so what we had my dad do, we told Kevin and Granddad, we're like, okay, Dad, say, okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. It did it. My phone recognizes it.
Sorry.
So we had him, and he had no idea. And it was very funny. It was very funny. We laughed and laughed, and he still has no idea. And then when we told him, he didn't really get it, and he's like, oh, okay. He says, and you know, I'm the silent generation. It's true. He's not a boomer. I hate this house. People, Lizzie, just stop. Okay, I'm going to look through these later. I like okay, giggle. That's okay, giggle. Doesn't work. Okay, boomer. Didn't work. Okay, boomer. Works sometimes if you say okay, boomer. Let me go back to the chat room. This is the longest goodbye. Telethons. Okay, yeah, so telethons might be it. Yeah, old people can spell telethon. These are old people. They know how to spell. Remember they used to have like a pen and a paper and not have spell check? So, it's agreed. Booksandbricks.org/fuckyou2020. I like it. Thanks, guys. Prohibition. Recession. Depression. Booksandbricks.org/Great Depression. Hold on to everything. Save those cans. Fundraiser. Good, but nobody would get it. Where's my inheritance? Give it to kids that would... Booksandbricks.org/Give it to kids who will actually appreciate it. Okay, guys. I think the best idea that I've seen so far is either booksandbricks.org/fundraiser or booksandbricks.org/
Where are you going?
Kevin, thanks for that.